All right, so now it's time for Doomsday, and I know that you said you like Doomsday, and I was surprised, Karen, because I thought Doomsday, and I've said this from the top beginning, and this isn't my saying. I remember reading this in an article or something like that, or on one of the YouTube comments that basically Doomsday looks like an overgrown Ninja Turtle, and he does, and they didn't even do anything to switch it or make it different, and on top of that, he's now shooting sparks. He's shooting sparks of electricity. And anytime somebody shoots him or does something like that, the military engages him. He turns into Gambit and can absorb energy and spit it back out, or uses it to kind of make himself stronger and bigger. So I didn't really like that, but I guess it can work and make sense, and it's the movie version of Doomsday. But I'll let you defend him. That way, it's not negative, negative, negative all the time.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of people still don't like the CGI, and I can see why and everything, but I think what redeemed me a little bit about Doomsday was when the fight went to outer space, and I gotta give props for Superman learning from Man of Steel was that, man, I gotta take this guy as far away as I can from here so I don't cause any more destruction.
I like that. That was cool. You're right. So that they weren't tearing apart the city, because it was like it was gonna be like Man of Steel Part Two, and they were gonna tear down Metropolis. So I like the fact that he did take him in outer space, and then what does Superman get for his rewards?
He
He
gets a
base
missile shot at him.
yeah, he gets like a couple nukes detonated on him.
Right. And then he lit once we saw the sun shine upon him. I was like, oh man, thank goodness for that. And then when Doomsday comes flying back down and everything, and then he just got more stronger, and then you see more of the thorns developed, around his body. I said, okay, that redeemed me a little bit about Doomsday.
Right. Yeah. Doomsday essentially survives a nuclear blast and mutates some more, and Superman eventually gets healed by the sun and makes his way down to Earth. But while Superman is recovering, it's Batman's turn to fight Doomsday, and that was pretty cool because Batman used the bat plane to fight Doomsday, and at this point, Batman's talking to Alfred, trying to game plan how they're going to take down Doomsday, and he realizes he can use the spear. Um, at which point, we flash back to Lois Lane, who had found the spear and got rid of it. Now she's got to find it again. I thought that was a little too much. I think Lois could have just left the spear somewhere for a little while. It didn't have to turn into this big situation.
I mean, I guess the reason why she threw it away too was to make sure that, nobody would find it deep in the water, because at this point it's not even just about, Superman, because, whoever finds it would have pretty much the potential to kill Superman at that point.
Okay, all right, makes sense. Um, I just think it took away valuable time from other things, and for a movie that was 2.5 hours long, and was a little too long, it could have cut back on a couple things, and that was one of them. I thought. Um, Now, a cool thing that the movie should get credit for is Wonder Woman. Wonder
Yes.
Woman, we finally see Diana Prince make her debut in full Wonder Woman gear, and she did look awesome.
She's
And
so pretty.
yeah, she looked awesome. And when she came out, everybody in the theater clapped. And again, props to Gal Gadot for hanging in there and winning everybody over. I wrote an article about that's what she does. If you go to our website, www.megamovienews.com, that's what I did. That's what she does. That's what I wrote in the article. She just wins people over. And by being classy, by being beautiful inside and out, and with her talent. And that's what she did here, and she won over everybody, and it was clapping. And I've read other reports online that people were cheering and clapping when Gal as Wonder Woman shows up.
Right, exactly. I mean, people immediately went to their social media accounts, especially with Twitter, and just said that, man, Gal Gadot was the best part for them. Some people gave her a standing ovation, which I could see why, because finally, we have our Amazonian princess.
Yes, finally Wonder Woman. Long time coming. It means a lot. It means a lot in the entertainment industry. It means a lot in the superhero world, and it means a lot, I think, in society that Wonder Woman has arrived and is officially on the big screen and will get her own movie. And I think it's also cool that somebody who has the qualities of a Gal Gadot is playing her. All right, Karen. So essentially, Wonder Woman did have some pretty cool fight scenes in there. We got to see her use her shield. We got to see her use her sword. Got to see her use her gauntlets, her bracelets, and we also got to see her use her rope.
Her lasso.
Her lasso, exactly. So, all cool things, but Doomsday still a big threat. Still just hanging in there. Even though it was pretty cool, Gal had actually chopped off Doomsday's arm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And essentially he kind of regenerated a little bit by having like a big thorn right there, a big yeah. So Doomsday essentially, when his arm's cut off, he basically regrows it, but he regrows it as like a thorn, not thorns, kind of bone thorns, or bone spurs, essentially, they're jutting out of his body. But that fight was pretty cool. Batman didn't have a lot to do in that for the most part. It was essentially a Wonder Woman Superman fight. Batman kind of assessing the situation. And during this time, Superman, with Lois Lane's help, does find the spear, and he's weakened by it because obviously it's kryptonite, and it's concentrated kryptonite. So essentially, Superman realizes that he's going to have to basically take the spear and jab it into Doomsday. And he turns to Lois and tells her, I love her. They have a little moment there. Lois telling him, you don't have to do this, don't do this. But Superman, being Superman, sacrifices himself.
Yes.
And stabs Doomsday in the chest with it. At the same time, Doomsday stabs Superman flush with his newly generated sword arm made of bones, and they essentially both fall to the ground and die. And this is the part again where I have a big problem with the movie, because you didn't have to kill Superman, and you don't have to put shock value in this, because then the next 10-15 minutes were spent with funeral processions for Superman and Clark Kent. And I think the creators, the producers, the director painted himself into a box here, because you're going to bring back Superman.
You have to.
Of course, you have to. Again, I feel like, and I talked about this earlier, I talked about this in our non-spoiler review, that I think they wanted to kind of, I don't know why, people always want to kill Superman. They always want to mirror that Death of Superman storyline that was done back in the early 90s, around 92, which is insanely popular and regenerated the comic book industry. But you don't have to do that here. We don't have to see him die. We don't have to see him go through that. For a movie that had so much going on, good things and bad things, this is just another thing that's like, what? I don't understand. You're trying to build a Justice League. You're trying to have Superman and Batman fight each other for the first time ever on screen. You're trying to foreshadow certain things. You're trying to create in-depth storylines. And now you want to kill Superman at the end? It's just too much. And at this point, I'm like, oh my God, whatever. I can't take this seriously.
Yeah, I saw your face. I was like, oh man. And I knew from there, I'm like thinking, man, he's definitely going to give this movie a D.
Yeah, you know what? Rethinking it, Karen, I gave it a C on our non-spoiler review. Obviously, this is a very long review. We're going almost scene by scene. I should have given it a D. I should have given it a D because of this silliness of killing Superman. And so you nuke him, and then at the same time, Doomsday stabs him. It's like, come on, this just doesn't make any sense. And now you paint yourself into a corner, and now if there's a Superman sequel, two things gotta happen. You either gotta go back in time, or Superman just miraculously heals, which is what happened in the comics, and he just comes back. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to go through that. I know he's gonna come back. I know he's there. Henry Cavill is Superman. Just why? Why are you gonna make me go through this? I don't even know it, to the point where it's like I don't even want to watch it. It's just, how you gonna, what poppycock explanation are you gonna give me now? Because you gave me this mix mash of a movie. What are you going to give me next? How much more of my time am I going to give you? I guess all of it, as much as you need, because I love these characters. We all love these characters.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, right now, they deserve better. And I'll tell you what else, we the fans deserve better.
Okay. I do, now rethinking what you said, I kind of like rethinking some of the things that, about it being a little forced. Now you're right. Some things were more forced than what I thought. I still like the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not the worst superhero movie, obviously. But yeah, things could have been done better and things should have not been as rushed. And the part that did get me sad too was when Martha Kent gives Lois, the envelope. She goes, here, Clark wanted this to be sent here, and then out comes an engagement ring, and I was like, oh man. And surprisingly, I didn't cry, or anything like that, but I'm thinking to myself, yeah, they gotta bring Superman back, and I think everybody knows that eventually he will come
Right,
back.
right. They will. He will come back, and I'll tell you this though. At least they didn't do the thing where Superman tells Lois, "I can't be with you because
True.
you're always getting." At least they didn't go there, because that wouldn't have sat well with me either. I think what's always going to be cool about this version of Lois and Clark is that they're always going to have to fight for their love, and they're always have to fight for each other. Clark in his way, obviously with his superpowers, but Lois in her way with her feistiness and tenacity and never say die attitude. Um, I definitely want to see that more in the third Superman and in the other incarnations within the Justice League universe, where everybody knows that, Lois Lane, not only does Superman have Lois Lane's back, but Lois Lane has Superman's back.